Test, test. Alright, there I am. Alright. Yeah, go ahead. It's all good. No, don't worry about it. It'll be something that'll be easier if I ever set up my own office. Alright, we're gonna wait here for a bit. Huh? Oh, take your time. Alright, we're gonna give it a few moments before we start and see if anyone else wants to drop on by. Just a heads up, we're going to be reading some CreepyPasta. Let's stay off of that. We're going to be reading some CreepyPasta, or we're going to be leaving off where we left off last time. Now, as what I'm going to be making a tradition, feel free to turn out the lights, find a playlist to set the ambiance for you. Maybe you need something to calm yourself. Maybe you need something to set the mood. But feel free to set up some music in your own background, however you will. I like to do it in silence myself, with nothing else behind me. Aside, of course, from the amount of cats around that tend to get all up in my business. If I get to the point, I may end up inserting some creepy music, probably mostly game music. And shit, what's his name? Mr. CreepyPasta uses his music all the time. Miyu, I think. But we're gonna start reading some of these CreepyPasta. So the Dangerous Grave was the last one we left off on, and we are currently, that's the last one. Let's see how many we've done so far. That is 436 items out of 8,824. We found some duplicates and we promptly got rid of them. Where am I? There I am. Okay. So it looks like it's Derusaduda's curse. Also, what should be noted and be there you go, and should be customary is that there should be a known trigger warning. I don't know all these stories. I know some of them, but I don't know what content may be in there. Some of it might get a lot darker and might hit close to home. So I just want to go ahead and throw out a general trigger warning. If you need to leave the video due to a certain topic, you are more than welcome to leave, or pause, or turn off the audio until you see a different selection. Grok Games, how's it going? Alright. It's been a while. I haven't been on YouTube in a while. I haven't been doing things for a while. My computer was out. I had to fix it. I had to fix a corrupted Windows operating system. That was fun. Alright. Darasudadua's curse. I guess that's how you say it. Going well, my friend. How are you? I'm doing well. I'm doing better now that my computer works. I think I might need to just unhook and rehook everything back up, but I think everything's doing well. I mostly spent a lot of that time off just kind of not being on the internet for the most part, aside from the occasional shitpost. Sounds awful. Well, yeah, it was. But it was nice kind of disconnecting for a bit. I got a bunch of things done, took care of some things. Been relatively eventful. It was in March, I believe, and I've had my computer up since about 2 weeks ago. When I was finally able to figure out that I could actually go in and somehow I had to go through Task Manager to open programs and stuff like that. It was interesting. I was talking about it all the last time, and at some point I'll try and make a video about it, so I can also explain the fix that I had. It was one of those situations where um, my computer cut off in the middle of updating. I think it was a weather issue. I don't remember, and it corrupted it that way. But it's fixed now, so I'm happy about that. I was able to force an update since I was still able to somehow open Chrome even though I had no desktop. So that was interesting. Anyway, Darasu Dadoa's curse. This is all something that happened to me about a week ago. Ever since then, my stomach has been shrank 2 times its size. I was a bit pudgy. Bless you. Bless you. I was a bit pudgy before. No excuses at all. I am now getting weaker by the minute. All I know is that it started with a simple game you all may know well. Minecraft. By the name it was called. Doesn't seem like it would harm anyone. I found out about the game a year ago, and some YouTubers pushed me into buying it. I started in a large field of grass. Cows were grazing on the blocky surface. Oh god damn it. Cows were grazing on the blocky surface. The sun was shining, and I'm sure if it was real, it would feel great. I was definitely not a huge fan, so I had no idea what to do. I thought I could make a little hut made of dirt, so I dug enough dirt to do so. As I explored a little, I came across a hole. What could this be? I asked myself. I went close enough to look inside. As I looked inside, I saw that what I thought was a cow until it turned around and I saw enough. My computer made a loud screaming noise, and it was enough to make me jump back and cover my aching ears and close my eyes. Soon enough it stopped, after a strange incident. I looked back, and to my advantage, he was gone. I saw enough. But I had a small amount of time to see what he looked like. His skin was gray. His eyes were dark as space. He was not wearing much clothing besides a small covering on his waist. He was semi-realistic. And was too much to endure. I turned off Minecraft instantly. On the desktop, I saw the thing that about knocked me off my seat. My desktop was filled with TXT folders, all by the name of Darusa Daduo. As weird as it seems the name was, it's true. God damn, the English. English was not this person's first language, I don't think. Oh, or it's a very young kid. It could be both. I went on Minecraft Wiki and found no Darusa Daduo's mob that is in the game. I looked on every Minecraft site I could and found no evidence. I deleted Minecraft as I was terrified to ever play the game again. I get skinnier every day. I don't know if I'll make it. I'm very confused at that one. I have no idea what's going on with that. Hey, Drogogo, what's going on? You guys are here. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect anyone, actually. It smells copper. Weather issue, like Gothic. No, so it's been raining here a pretty decent bit since spring. Haunted cow. I get skinnier every day. What? Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing in here that explains it except that he's just not eating or something. I don't know. Should I look it up? I could probably look it up. Wait, did not. Why didn't it put your comment in the chat box on the screen? Okay. Whatever. I get skin. Wait, is skinnier one of the buzzwords? No. I don't know. That's weird. You know what? Let me just see if there's anything that actually comes up besides just, this pasta. I just want to check it out. Parasu. DADUA. Nope. It says transudado is what it's asking me if I'm doing. Okay, so it's nothing. At least certainly nothing. Maybe it's a dark web. Oh no. Dark web. Okay, but yeah, I don't get what's going on with that. I have no idea. This was a very confusing pasta. This was probably someone's first pasta. I'm gonna move on. The Dark Abyss by Hole 19. I had a nightmare where I saw a person that I recognized. Upon walking up to the person, I discovered that the person had the ability to create duplicate objects in order to develop holes in the ground. He would jump into them and start to be chased by demonic monsters with all sorts of twisted faces and torn bodies. I followed him only to discover he was collecting items for an external dimension and had the ability to fly out. I thought this was cool until he did it a second time and ended up being trapped in the hole running for his life. So after watching him do it for the first time, I found another person who could do it, and they taught me I could do it by a mind trick, in which I merely saw duplication. So we gathered a few people and saved this person, only to find that the monstrosities, including childlike demons, followed us up the hole, running for our lives as we tried to assess the situation. One of the guys ran for it, only to imagine a duplicated hose with a hellish hand. The hand opened a gigantic sinkhole, and he was sucked in. We checked on him. When we finally found him, the monstrosities were eating him, disguised as the homeless. All that was left of the poor guy was his head and organs. As we ran, only for most of us to be separated, leaving only me and this one guy. We were countered by samurai that ordered us to open the hole. We fought them, and the other guy was injured. I took on the leader, and he seemed invulnerable, until I took his katana and used another I found to hardly press into his organs. He died. Next, I took on the other two, scaring one off and gutting the other. I realized then that the hole was opening up, and there would be no way out. I woke up in the middle of the night, and I didn't feel like going back to sleep. Okay. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that. There's not really anything to it, really. Yeah, it's a pasta. It's just, this one isn't that good. Just, I mean, okay, I get it. It's a nightmare, but it's very Mary Sue, and I just don't see it being that convenient. But I mean, I guess there have been stranger things, right? There have been stranger things. Anyway. Okay. Dark corners. In almost every building, there is one corner, one small enclosure that no one ever looks at. It's the corner in the basement that has been blocked by this disused sofa for years. The thin space in the attic between the wall and the stacks and stacks of crates full of junk you'd never use. But could never, junk you never use but could never throw away. The space that never sees the light of day or any other kind of light at all, where darkness does not merely dominate, but practically oozes out from around the edges of its prison. No one knows quite how long this space must remain concealed, for it can acquire this particular property, nor if there are any specific conditions it must meet. But it is a far more common occurrence than you might think. In newer buildings, when this happens, the residents often report feeling cold when passing by. Even in the attics during the hottest of summers, whenever contemplating taking a quick peek to see if there is anything actually there, an unnatural dread seizes them, and they leave the room quickly, if not quite running. Once left behind, the feeling passes, and it is quickly forgotten or laughed off. What actually happens in these forgotten sanctuaries of the dark, it is impossible to tell. For while many such corners have been exposed to reveal absolutely nothing, some brave souls have lost their sanity through nothing more than an ill-timed glance. The safest thing to do when encountered with such phenomena? Close your eyes. Rip away the area's covering in a single motion. Then keep a tight hold on what you've pulled away. No matter what you hear or feel, do not get up. Do not look around. Do not try to cover up your ears. You might be one of the lucky ones. All right, that's actually a neat one. Any of them, a lot of them that actually make you think about a situation that's common and makes that scary. You know, the dark corners in an attic or whatever. It's like it's already scary enough, but now the idea of actually confronting that fear. That's interesting. Yeah, I like that one. I like that one. It makes me wonder. You know, no matter what you hear or feel, do not get up. Let me make sure. Yeah. I don't know what it says, do not get up. Is it assuming you're laying down already? Or, I don't know. It might be assuming that. Do not look around. Do not try to cover your ears. Like expelling a demon manually. Oh, you don't have no exorcist? No problem. Here's the homeopathy version. Dark Dissidia. Well, Final Fantasy Dissidia pasta. Okay, interesting. I'm still being heard, right? Yeah, okay. Put this closer to me. Dark Dissidia. So it all starts when I'm moving out of my house in Utah. I'm looking for old boxes to find anything of importance. When I find my old PSP, inside of the part where you put the cartridges in is the game Dissidia 012. I decided to play it, for I have quite a bit of time left. Like normal, the PSP starts with all of my settings and such, I hit the symbol for the cartridge and it comes up normally. I decide to check out Magnet when the first letter pops up for a note and a friend card. It seems normal until the second letter comes up with the words, "Will you play with me?" As I was confused, I hit the button saying, "Who is this?" It quickly responds with the letter D. "What does D stand for?" I said out loud. "Maybe it's me. I don't know." Suddenly, all of the doors slam shut, including the bed, the bathroom, and closet. I look back at the game, and it puts me on an odd player select screen. Odd character select screen. Oh, the fuck. Players. Can I bring that up? Can't expand it there. I can bring it up on Word, though. Don't give a fuck. It's blurry. Yeah, I can't tell anything from that. Anyway, I haven't played the game, so my curiosity gnawing at a part of me doesn't win, and I try to flip the power switch, but to no extent. I try throwing it at the floor multiple times, but only the screen cracks. I try to open the door, but it won't budge. I look again at the screen. Three letters appear, saying "eat." I picture all of the letters in my mind. So far, D-E-A-T, deet. I choose the character Onion Knight, and it puts me in a battle against ... And instead of showing the enemy gear screen, it went straight to battle. The enemy I was about to fight was just a flat image of bones wearing rags and holding a very detailed scythe. My bravery was at 0, while its bravery had the letter H instead of a number. As soon as I attacked it, the screen violently started alternating between white and black. The PSP froze on the face of the enemy, like it was peering into my soul. Finally, I was able to turn it off, and I could open and close the doors at will. I packaged it in a separate box, which I put next to me in the car. It made noises as I drove, such as realistic screams and blades clashing. I kept waiting to open the box and take a peek, but I refused to do so. Eventually, the box's tape automatically ripped open. The blood started appearing on the box, for no apparent reason. On the side of the road was a ledge leading to the sea. So I pulled over, quickly grabbed the box, and tossed it over the ledge. To this day, I still remember it in the back of my mind. Yeah, this definitely seems like a very standard first CreepyPasta to me so far, from what I know. It's okay. It's not bad. It's at least, well, the grammar is good, so I know what's going on. And I'm a sucker for video game CreepyPasta, no matter how cringy. I'll always be able to enjoy that. And I could make assumptions that these images, most of the time the images are going to be added by the people who write these, so I guess credit to DMOTEG, Demoteg. I don't know. Maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, Cheese Lord. Dark Grove. The Dark Grove. There exists a small circle of trees somewhere in the Rocky Mountains, completely unremarkable from the outside, but just inside no sun or star ever shines. Rumor has it that anyone that can spend 3 pitch-black days and nights within the grove without going mad will be greeted with a queer sight of the sun rising in the west on the beginning of the 4th day, filling the grove with radiant light. One wish may be made before this sun, and it shall be fulfilled. However, once that person makes the wish, the world outside the grove shall forever be as dark for them as it had been inside for those 3 days. That's a good one. So added by Cheese Lord, assuming that that's the writer. He does a good handful of these, and he does a lot of these ones that are like that make you think of a situation and what would you do. Tea. Shit. So, what would you do in that situation? You can have anything fulfilled, but when you make that wish, and you only have the time for when the sun is in the middle of the grove, everything else outside will be dark forever. But you can always return to the grove, so you might be stuck in that grove despite having made your wish and having effectively what you want. So that's a nice one. Dark joke. Okay, this is already, I can tell this is already going to be in really bad taste, isn't it? Oh god. Alright. Dark joke. It was a cold night at the end of March. A man sat praying in front of a delivery room. Oops. Please, God, save my wife and child. The man's wife was having a cesarean section. She had always been physically frail, and they hadn't known if she could survive the operation. Throughout the night, the man continued to pray for his wife and unborn baby. After what seemed like an eternity, the door to the delivery room swung open. The doctor appeared at the door saying, "It was a very complex operation. Both your wife and child survived. Congratulations." The man, crying with joy, rushed into the delivery room. However, what he saw inside was his wife lying dead in a pool of blood on the operating table and his child who had dropped dead on the floor. "April Fools!" shouted the doctor behind him. No. No, that's fucked up. How fucked up is fucked up? That's pretty fucked up. Nope. That's a fucked up one. I get it. It's like, I can appreciate dark humor, but that's just cruel. That is not the spirit of April Fools. Okay. The Dark Man. True story. Okay, we'll go in we'll be generous with this note. This story is 100% true, and even though I wasn't there to witness this event due to the fact that I wasn't born at the time, I know for sure that it's real. Hey guys, I'm not sure if you're aware of my existence, but if you're reading this, you know now. I'm going to tell you about a story that happened to my mother and father. My mom told me about this when I was only 10, and it frightened me so much. But I asked her if she could tell the story again. So, guys, here it is. The true story of the Dark Man. My mom and dad were in bed one night, and my mother kept having a strange feeling as if someone else was in the room. She was tossing and turning to try and get comfortable, but she couldn't. But then she started to drift off finally. but was then awoken by a cold breeze, even though the windows and the door were closed. She looked up and saw a man who was completely black with a type of Jewish hat on. My mom stared at him with a petrified look for 3 seconds at least, but suddenly let out a squeal and was then pulled close by my dad. After that, they both couldn't sleep, so they went downstairs and sat down as Mom was describing what she saw to my father. But what she doesn't know, he was holding something back. My dad had a strange look on his face, and then my mom said, "Why are you looking at me like that?" My dad then looked down and said, "I saw him too." You know what? I could see something like that being a story that I might tell if my wife and I ever experience it. I would say there's a few experiences, and the skeptic side of me tells me, stay skeptical or whatever. But what you believe is a matter of what you're convinced of, not something you can really choose. And your experiences are generally going to be the most compelling. Like, you can logic your way through certain things, but some things, an experience is the only thing that's going to be truly convincing. But no, this is a real or fake. I think this is a good one. It's short. It's short, I guess relatively sweet. It's interesting. And let me know if anyone else out there has talked about this. Dark Murk. I was going through Amazon for a copy of Mercenaries 2 when I stumbled across a price of $9.99 with free shipping. This won't straight up. There we go. Come on, hands. Okay, better. I got excited because it said it was new, so I bought it. After a few days, I got it, and I obviously noticed that the case the game was in had a red marker. Had in red marker the Dark Murk. I thought it was nothing, so I opened the cartridge, and when I took the game out, it was perfect. I started playing the game, and I choose Matthias. And the few first missions were normal, just like when I saw on the walkthrough. Then on the mission, Leave No Trace. Once I talked to the guy you need to talk to, the game froze. Come on, eyes. When I loaded it back up, my Merc wouldn't shoot, and if I tried, he would say out of ammo, even if the gun he was using was full ammo. At one point, he started firing randomly and saying something that I didn't understand, but it sounded like, "You will burn in hell." Then I stopped playing for a while, and I ate something, and I called my friend over, who had played and beaten Mercenaries 2 3 times. Then he said, I started playing while my friend was watching, and when the screen flashed dark and then back to the game menu, except that instead of the title Mercenaries 2, it was the title The Dark Murk. Me and my friend, who were totally confused on this, started looking on the internet about this. Then the game started itself while we were looking around, and Matthias was black all over. except for his eyes, which were bright red. Then he said, You won't understand, but your faith is closer than you think. Which confused me. Then the screen started flashing black and red and the Xbox reset. When I started the game back up, the only option was New Game. I pressed it and it was the dialogue, and a dialogue box popped up saying don't do anything. So I just sat there, and then 30 seconds later another dialogue box popped up saying press A. Oh, excuse me. Once I did, my friend said to shut off the Xbox. At the second he did, the last dialogue box popped up saying shut off the Xbox and you will burn in hell. So I left the Xbox alone. Then the game loaded, and then once again, Matthias was black with red eyes. He said, Bring me to the UP headquarters. So that's what I did. Upon reaching there, the UP headquarters blew up, which was not normal. Matthias was just laughing his ass off. Then a tank appeared next to him and the game started playing itself, and he got into the tank and shot randomly. And if I tried doing anything, my controller would start to vibrate and nothing would happen. Then soon Matthias said, I'm going to kill you next. And the Xbox shut off. I'm keeping this game because it's a treasure to me, because I can't find anything like this anywhere else. That's a little bit different. I mean, this is a standard, gaming creepypasta. I don't know anything about the Mercenary series. I probably have friends that know more than I do. I guess it's original Xbox. So I have no idea. I don't even know what I'm looking at. I'm thinking of like characters to fit the thing, but I don't know. I don't know any of it. Alright. The Dark Moon. It was a cold autumn night. Just an average night, right? No. It wasn't. I forgot to wear my sweater. It was about 10:23 a.m. I heard rustling leaves in the woods. Something made me enter the woods. It was a driver. He nearly ran me over before I got into the woods. I heard a screaming noise from the west, so I ran as fast as I could, avoiding any distractions. When I got there, I saw a dead body. His eyes were gone. He had a hole in his stomach, and he was pointing to the north, probably where the thing was. I heard another scream from the south. I ran to the southern part of the woods. I encountered another dead body. It was a girl, however. No big surprise, right? I began to shiver as I ran to the northern part of the woods. I found another victim. This time, the thing left some evidence, a human heart. I gulped as I slowly walked towards the east. I heard rustling in the leaves. I suddenly hid in the bush. It was only an owl. I needed something to calm me down. I played some Lavender Town music. That's when the music died. I was all alone. I heard some growling and ran out of those woods for good. After I escaped, I ran to a neighborhood. I was finally back at my home. Thank God. When I got there, everyone was dead, excluding my dog. I was just so glad I got home. I entered the house, and it was well lit now. I needed to find the thing. This concludes my first creepypasta. It may not be much, but still, everyone makes mistakes sometimes. Nope, that's fair. I'm guessing Jaden Yuki 93. You had to make me remember that Yu-Gi-Oh series. How dare you? Anyway. No, I mean, the Lavender Town music one is kind of like, are you really going to be calm from that? No. No. The part where the music stops, like if you just said played some music, I probably would have stopped there. Like with that part, and then after that, that's when the music died. Okay, fair enough. That makes sense. Probably one of the best things you could have done was just more. Just make more. The fact that he comes home and everyone's dead, there's actually a weird implication that I think is in there, is that they may have been dead already before you even left the place. We don't know, and it could be that you're the thing, and I don't know. I don't know. I think there's some ambiguity, like, it's the thing. It's the thing. The almighty. It's like the almighty they. Who is they? We don't know. We don't. So, and sometimes that can help. But I think in this situation, we know too little enough that we can only really make conducive thoughts because you're the only other character in there, aside from the dog, that's actually alive, which may be the issue. Like, if you continue to go, wait a minute, I don't have a dog. Oh, shit. Oh, no, this one's not bad. Like, for a first creepypasta, and I'm assuming you were young. Alright. The Dark Oblivion. Everybody has that dark place in their mind. We store the scariest things that have happened to us. We don't access it. We don't want to. But some brave people do. Authors like Stephen King and directors like John Carpenter access it for entertainment purposes, but every time they go there, something follows them back. David stood in front of a mirror. Your average 13-year-old boy. His hair was black with a buzz cut. David brushed his teeth and ate breakfast before going to school. Later that day, around 3 o'clock, he arrived home. He said hi to his mom, and his dad didn't arrive till late that night. David went into his room. Posters for movies like The Thing and Friday the 13th lined on the wall. In the corner desk whose computer stood. David logged on. Friday, 12 a.m., 2013. David woke to something tugging on his blanket. He tried to brush it off, but it got stronger and stronger. Suddenly, with the quickness of lightning, the blanket was violently thrown across the room. He let out a scream. His parents came rushing into his room. "Davy, are you okay?" his mother asked. "Something threw my blanket," he shouted. "David, it was just a dream." "Look, your blanket is still on you," his father said. And he was right. The blanket was still there. 7:30 a.m. David awoke from bed. He slowly walked down the hall, rubbing his eyes. David stepped into his bathroom. He opened the mirror and closed it. Behind him was a tall, dark shadow. David turned around, throwing his toothbrush. Nothing was there. He looked back at the mirror. Nothing was there either. You okay? Okay, so none of this mattered story-wise. This was to prime you for what was going on. And so this is like the recounting of a guy's experience. So this one's interesting. I guess assuming whoever David is the OP. I guess credit to him. Not sure how we'll find out which one that is, but you know, there's Davids out there. I know a few Davids. Give him credit. Credit for David. Yeah. This one's not bad. This is like a strange sense of psychosis. well, I wouldn't say obsessed, but being a fan of horror-related things can lead you down the idea that those things will keep popping up and priming you for situations that might not be true. You know, definitely something interesting. Alright. Damn. Why does my nose always want to run when I'm talking a lot? I don't get that. I hate that so much. The Dark Ones are calling. Oops. Indeed, I have long known of their existence. Indeed, I have seen them with my own eyes, both in my waking hours and in my ungodly dreams. But on this night of November 5th, 1921, I report an event that I have yet to experience before. The Dark Ones are calling. The shadowy creatures stand on all fours upon the hill north of my home, in Kingsport country. On the grassy outskirts of Kingsport City, they look into the sky in the night. To the silvery stars, who are minions of the deep moon, and they let out an odd chant that is without feeling. A chant no human on this earth could recite, but of course the Dark Ones are not human. No. Far from it. They are not even born of this planet. What deviant, freakish, and loathsome entity brought these Dark Ones here centuries ago is beyond my realm of knowledge. But I can assume it is one of the same with these detestable things. These marvelous and vile repugnant creatures of some unholy place where the sun never shines. They frighten me. They make me feel unwelcome in my own home. I wish that they would die soon. Or perhaps the personage that brought them here could take them back. I've become so desolate, so incredibly reclusive. The chant the Dark Ones call out is nauseating. It forces me to breathe heavily and blink more often than I should. I'm in pain as I write this. What is happening? I feel myself writing, but have no idea what it is that I am scrawling onto paper. As I return to coherency, I look down at what I have written, and I am shocked and appalled. Sweet father, come back to us, for we are ready to report our findings. These stupid and obnoxious mortals that are human are blind to their own ways. They think too much, they feel too much, they do too much, and what they do is rarely for the good of their own planet and the species around them. They are confusing creatures, and they steal the homes of other creatures, and give those creatures places to live in on land that they have stolen. Come back to us, Father, and we shall reveal more of their bewildering habits. Why did I write this? What drove me to such a thing? It was the Dark Ones. I know it. I know it was the Dark Ones. They can control me. Am I weak? I am powerless or helpless against the Dark Ones. Someone or something, please give me a sign that I am still sane and still on this planet. Oh God. Just give me a sign. Just give me a sign. Yeah, I could see this being an old story, an adage. Another guy trying to get revenge. Something like that. But, this was interesting. I wish there was more. Like, there's a lot of... Damn. I got new casters on my chair. But the chair, the little hydraulic thing that puts the seat up, keeps going down. So that's kind of wearing down. Alright. Oh, shit. God dang it. Why do I have to be yawning all the fucking time? The Dark Ones. You know how you stay up in the night, cowardly hiding under your blanket, scared of all those creaks and cracks. Well, you may not know this, but those are the Dark Ones. They watch you sleep. They don't hurt you in any way because they can't. They have no nose and have 9 eyes and stand up on 2 legs. They are very skinny to the point where you can see their ribs. They don't have hands, just arms. Their skin is a dark green. They can teleport from country to country. They can manipulate ground movement and can take the form of any household object. They don't feed on humans, they feed on birds and mice. The Dark Ones don't hurt humans with physical movements, but with their brain. They can do things you can't even imagine doing with your mind. They can cause paranoia and or suicide. For some reason, they like stalking little girls. Most of the girls don't get harmed, but if the Dark Ones are in need of a mate. There was one victim of the Dark Ones, though. Kate Todd, a 5-year-old girl. She was taken from her home and with her parents devastated. The next 2 days, Kate came back pregnant. The Dark Ones seem to have a burning hate for male humans. They don't like it when a man touches a woman or when a man kisses a woman. They say the Dark Ones are the replacements of humans. So what if we are just another chapter in God's book? All the answers lie within the Dark Ones. Yeah, no, fuck that. That's bullshit. No. Yeah, that is a scary thing, but oh god. No, fuck these guys, they gotta die. They die, they go to hell, and they die. Fuck these guys. They're real. Murder is the only option. I don't care if it's primal or what. That's bullshit. I mean, conceptually, this is interesting. You could have left out, could have left out that part right there. I would prefer that not to be in it. Like, I think it would have been equally effective if it was like a teenage girl and being, whatever. In any case, someone, it needs to be older. That's just, the younger it is, the worse it is, the creepier it is. And no one should ever have to deal with that. That's fucked up. Alright, so I guess assuming Snapjaw. Alright, aside from the one trigger, like in particular, no, this is interesting. I'd like to see more, just minus this shit. This is creepy. Like, they can be scary without that. For what it's worth. But that's just me. Dark Past. My grandmother was an American woman living in Russia at the time Joseph Stalin had taken over for the power struggle following Vladimir Lenin's death. When Joseph, man of steel, came to power, she attempted to flee the country, but the love for the kids she taught, she was a teacher, kept her. Eventually, some of the kids started disappearing, and she realized they were leaving the country. She began to pack her things and head for the train that led into Europe. As she boarded it, she saw many other passengers. Some were full of joy of leaving. Others had no emotion. After the train pulled off of the station, several passengers stood up and took out the standard Russian gun, the M14. A Russian commander also entered. He pointed to a young man who was then shot on the spot. He pointed to a mother and her child. The mother was stabbed and the baby thrown off the train. The passengers began running, whom were mostly shot. My grandmother hid under a table and waited for the men to pass. As the Russian soldiers passed, a pair of boots stopped. She looked up to see a young man staring at her. When she thought he would shoot her in the head and end her life, he walked off to his fellow soldiers. As she sighed in relief and got off the train into the Polish station, she got off the train, she noticed she was only one off. And then she saw it, a pair of eyes staring at her through the train. She didn't know why, but she began to run. She heard guns go off behind her and was almost killed. As if it wasn't for the Polish officer who returned fire, she would have been killed. As she thanked the Pole, she realized it was the same man from the train. Questioning this, he told her he had an identical twin brother who left for Russia and became a baker. He also told her they were sympathizers for foreigners in communist states. As my grandmother continued to live in Poland, she woke up to the machine gun fire one day in 1939. As she kept up with the news, she realized Germany had invaded Poland. Her reaction was quick to leave this time and flew to the neutral country of Greece. As she lived in Greece for a year, the Italian invasion dragged the Greeks into the hell of a war, as she called it. As her door was broken down by a Greek soldier, she was ordered to come with him. As she turned left and right, she saw the Italians being slaughtered. The Italians had poor equipment, poor tactics, and poor morale, while the Greeks had high of all of these things. Sorry, it's a little weird. It's not how I would have phrased it. She tells me every time I ask. As she was put in the civilian center, she could still hear the fight going on. Flash forward 4 years. She had survived the occupation of Greece and had helped the Red Cross bring food to the starving Greeks and aid with the wounded resistance. As the war ended with Hitler's supposed suicide, she moved back to the U.S. Flash forward 50 years. She was in New Jersey, her home state, when she spotted 3 immigrants, a Pole, a Russian, and a Greek. To this day, she swears that those were the three were Russian soldiers who kept her secret. The Polish officer whom helped her, and the Greek officer who escorted her to safety. The Russian soldier who kept their secret, Polish officer who helped her, and the Greek officer who escorted her to safety. Yeah. Okay, that's actually a really cool one. World War II one like that. Yeah, that's That's rough. That could be a real story. That very well could be. So I don't know anything about it. All I know is that my grandmother um, is a Holocaust survivor. She was, I believe, in England. She was English, and she was also Jewish. So she was potentially one of the ones that could have been thrown in. I don't think she was ever that close. I think she was in England the whole time, where it was relatively safe. Rel- the hell? What was that noise? Is that a horn? Did you hear a horn?
A horn?
Yeah.
No.
It was like a 3-second beep.
That might have been outside, but I've had my headphones on, so I probably didn't hear that one. I'm sorry. That sometimes happens outside.
Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Anyway. So yeah, my grandmother was supposedly a Holocaust survivor. I don't know how far in she actually ended up being. I didn't know when I was actually meeting her in England, so I not exactly anything I asked. The dark side of Windows 8. This all started one normal day. I was on my computer and realized that I still had an old version of Windows. Windows Vista and Windows 8 had just come out a few weeks ago. Windows Vista? God damn. Fuck. I'm very tech savvy, so I wanted to catch up with the late. How? No bullshit. There's no way you're on Windows Vista for that long and then get to Windows 8. There were so many versions after that. Don't bullshit me. Anyway, wanted to catch up on the latest version. Being the young person I am, I wanted to save a few bucks and get a used copy of the operating system. I headed down to the town computer shop and asked the clerk if they had a cheap copy. He said that he did in the back of the shop and went to go get it. When he came back out, he held in his hand a small box with a big 8 on it. I thought the 8 meant Windows 8, so I thought nothing of it. I gave the clerk the money and headed back home. Once I got there, I opened the box and saw a floppy disk with a large 8 on it. This was rather odd because nothing used floppies anymore, especially for whole operating systems. I looked at it more and saw nothing unusual about the disk itself, so I put it in the computer. Right after, the whole system shut down, the monitor, tower, and modem. About 5 seconds later, everything went back on. I put in my password and my home screen popped up. It was Windows 8. It looked so cool. I was surprised the floppy disk actually worked. My excitement didn't last long because right after that, my default background turned into a large red 8. This creeped me out. I thought, just a glitch. But I was wrong. I was then going to change the background back, but then all the icons disappeared. Except for one. What was left was one folder titled 8. Now I was really scared, but curiosity got the best of me. I proceeded to click the file. In it, there were a whole bunch of empty folders. One folder, of course, was titled 8. I opened that folder. There was one item, and it, big shocker, 8.mp3. I clicked the file, and then a strange tone started to play. It was slow and soft, but got faster and louder. Then, it hypnotized me. I went to sleep and had a dream. I was seated in a movie theater. Soon a movie started playing. At first, all there was in the movie was the tone that put me to sleep. Then words appeared on the screen. It said, "Get out of 8." The movie lasted for exactly 8 seconds. Finally, I woke up. I was at my desk. I looked on my computer, and Windows 8 was gone. It was back to Windows Vista. I was relieved. Then I found a note on the desk. It said, "Next time, you'll be gone." A chill ran down my back. I threw the note away and vowed never to do anything with Windows 8 again. Okay, you wanna know what problem I got with that? Problem I got with friggin' Windows 8 and shit? Okay, so Windows 8, I don't like it. It was because that, if I'm right, that was that tablature format, right? And I hated that. I hated that format. Wait. Is that not coming up? Why is that not caught up? Hold on just a second. Okay, come on. There we go. Okay, there we go. Blue face question mark. Or face blue question mark. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay. Why did it show up there, but it didn't show up in my chat? That was dumb. Anyway, how's it going, Isabel? Hope you're doing well. I have no idea why that didn't show up in the chat. It showed up on the screen. It didn't show up on the side. That's weird. That's fucking weird. Okay, anyway. Alright. Okay, this was interesting. I didn't like Windows 8. From what I remember, it was that tablature format where it was like a it was like being on a tablet, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it was formatted. I really enjoyed Windows 7 for the most part, but this one was not. Windows 8 I thought was terrible. The interface was awful, and it was trying to keep up with modern times, but no one wanted that out of their desktop. I'm a bit hungry. Get something to eat. Get a snack. Need snacks. I mean, we had pizza. We had pizza for dinner. I may have overindulged. Meow. Oh man. Hope you're doing well. I'm just reading CreepyPasta tonight. Gonna see how far I can get. $8,000 of them. Got a lot to go through. But I think we're making good progress. I mean, we've gone through 14. Okay. Alright. Dark Station. I don't know what happened that day. I was exploring a very dark station alone. The atmosphere was very uneasy. I accidentally and accidentally my flashlight broke. I tried to change the batteries, but it was impossible in the darkness. I got interested and stored a record of video and started to record a video. The atmosphere started to get deeper, and I heard very uneasy sounds like music. I started to see some strange things like ghosts or something. I got scared and ran away. It was creepy, but then they came. At least I had enough time to save the video on my camera. I woke up something like 4 days later in an old hospital, and I checked my camera. The video wasn't there. Only the deep, scary sounds that seemed like music. When I came home, I browsed the internet. I found a picture of the video that got deleted. And it actually has a link for us. I've been worried about, following links and stuff for the most part, but, whoa, 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 whoa. But why don't we? Why don't we, explore that? Alright, so it's ghouls versus humans, dark station music? Yeah, no, that's, okay, yeah, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. That's not the sounds, that's... Unless you're trying to make a comparison. Hold on. More is coming, so stay tuned. Get back to Rush. Okay. 140 is the creepy part. Or 40 is the creepy part. Oh, really? It just seems like standard game music. Let me make sure you guys are hearing something. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Is Link's part of the story? It seems like it should be. The Link is supposed to be part of, like, explaining the noises, I guess? See, here's the issue. This looks like a game, right? It's a screenshot of Doom. God damn it. It's fucking bullshit. Okay, so... You know what? I don't know. Added by Pro. I was really invested until that, and then realizing that if I reverse image search that, it'll bring up fucking images to Wikia, no cookie. Yeah, no, I'm not. I mean, come on, man. I'm trying to run a business here. Shit. Yeah, I don't know. It's stupid. That's stupid. I don't like that because that's it. I upload the sounds to YouTube, and I can't even assume that that's so it's just not right. It's not what I want. I thought I was gonna hear. Sorry, Pro, but this one just doesn't do it for me. Not like this. Not like this. You had me, and then you dropped me. Dang it. This guy here. Ugh. You know, that's one of the things that gets me is you get to a point where you get that investment and it's like, oh yeah, it feels great. And then they lose you by like not substantiating the things that you were experiencing in while reading the story. And apparently that's a screenshot of a Doom frame. And like it might work if it was like a Doom creepypasta, but it doesn't, and it says ghouls versus humans on the thing, so I don't know. I tried. It's not what I Dark Station. This is like PlayStation. But no, I mean it's talking about like a train station, right? Yeah, Dark Station on. Yeah. Ugh. Skull there. That's probably edited in. Oh, you had me. I think it could have. You could have done better. I think. I think you give it another try. Oh, dang man. Sorry, bro. All right. Darkness. You can't see in the darkness, which means you can't see the harm and threats lurking in the shadows of the darkness. Evil spirits like to be in the darkness. Sometimes if you light a candle or turn on the lights or a flashlight, the evil runs away because they got caught or they're afraid of the light. But mostly, once the evil goes in the darkness and you enter it, the evil can get you. Even if you turn on the lights, sometimes light isn't going to help you. Ever had that feeling at night? When you're in your warm, comfy bed trying to go to sleep? And it's completely dark and quiet, and you get that feeling that something is with you and watching you. Because there is. There are evil spirits in that darkness watching you, timing when to attack you. Sometimes they don't always attack you. Sometimes their attack is to make you paranoid about being in the dark. Like when you're just a child, and you're afraid of the darkness and need a nightlight. That's because the evil spirits are taking over your mind, making you think something is coming to get you. Like the monster in your closet or the boogeyman under your bed. And when you have that nightlight, all your fears go away, meaning the evil spirits have gone away. You're in the darkness. You're just waiting for the evil to come get you. Waiting for that monster to come bite your face off. Waiting for it to eat your soul. Things like this don't usually happen. Sometimes demons like to mess with your mind like this. Usually in the end, you just shake it off. You shake off the fear, telling yourself that it's just your imagination, and then go to sleep. Or turn on a light. But it's not always your imagination. Darkness. Something most evil is found in. Something that likes to trigger our imaginations. What? What happened? Something demons can be hanging out in. Bad things are lurking in the shadows of the darkness, waiting to attack. You may end up finding yourself beaten up from a bad guy or controlled by some evil from this darkness, just because you think the darkness is good for sleeping and whatnot. That doesn't mean there that doesn't mean there are bad things too. So ask yourself, are you still afraid of the darkness? I guess credit to Professor Chuckle. That's a neat one. I like that one. Trying to reinstill the fear of darkness. That feeling of helplessness that you have when you know that all the lights could be out. A feeling like, I feel like it's most prominent when you're outside. Like if you're walking to your house and you're just like, I'm 20 meters from my doorstep, but it's dark. The light, the way it shines only shines on the inside, so it doesn't actually go out past the steps or something. Something like that, so you can't see in the bushes nearby when you're walking back to your house from your own car, or something like that. You know. Alright. It's a ritual pasta. The Dark Room Ritual. This is a ritual to summon the portal to the Dark Room. You will need a mirror, a room painted black with no windows or light, a slab of black ebony, a pint of human blood. The ritual. First, wait until exactly 10 o'clock. I assume at night. If you attempt this ritual before then, you will be killed. Second, put the mirror to the floor. Third, pour the blood on it. Fourth, place the slab on the mirror. The time should be 9:59. At 10 exactly, the slab should be absorbed into the mirror, and the door will appear on the wall. The portal is complete. I feel like that's counterintuitive to say first wait until 10 o'clock exactly, and then have a thing where the fourth step is it should be about 9:59 when you place it on the mirror. I imagine that'd be expensive to have a piece of black ebony. Alright. Another cheese lord one. Data fragments. There are small bits of time called data fragments. These data fragments became prevalent during the birth of the information age. When time is altered, the flow of time itself is diverted. Occasionally, small trickles of previous flow stay in the current. They exist as old photos, short text files, and wandering bits of fact. They stay within the network of the internet and the modern computers as insane and useless information that is minutiae of the population browse, perhaps interested in the silly falsehoods. Yet, we must remember that these were once true, and are from a time most likely very different than ours. Think about every incorrect fact, short story, creepypasta, mesquite, an edited picture you've ever witnessed online. One of these may be a data fragment. Who's to say the flow of time from which they come, does not have data fragments from ours? Who's to say they do not notice? Okay. This feels like another way to look at the Mandela effect. I think. I think this is basically that, a Mandela effect creepypasta, except this is dealing with like falsehoods that you see through the internet. Cheese Lord's always good at inducing thought. Just can't wait till we get to the ones that are a little bigger from Shinigami Eyes. There's a lot of those. Oh shit. Son of a bitch. Alright. Date of death. On March 8th, 2002, a man was driving down a service road. He picked up a beautiful young girl on the side of the street. He asked her for her name, and she said Pamela. The man drove the young woman back to her house. On the way there, they had become friends. The man pulled into the driveway, and the young Pamela walked into her house unscathed. The next day, the man went back to Pamela's house to ask her on a date. When he knocked on the door, an elderly lady answered. The man asked for Pamela. The elderly lady said that she had died 2 years ago in a car accident. After the woman said that, the young man left without saying a word. That's interesting. So I like these ones that fuck with you like that. You know, it messes with you. It's like I've heard stories like this. I like them where the twist is they were already dead. It's like they were just experiencing a last bout of kindness or something like that. It's sweet, right? It's unnerving, but it's sweet. The sweet side of creepypastas. That'd be a good one to do a short about. Speaking of which, I need to do. Dawn. I sit in the window, remembering, crying, dying. I could not do anything for myself. Everybody's dead. I think I know what to do. A gun and a bullet would help. Yes, it would. It would. I'm a G. I'm guessing he's dead. That was it. There was a suicide. It was a self-delete. Very short. Self-pitying. Self-fulfilling? I guess. Figures. Alright. The daydream. I can practically feel myself wasting away. Oh, not literally, of course, but it certainly got your attention, didn't it? My name is Devin, McCormick. I am extremely bored. My science teacher has the most droning voice in the world, and his jokes make him sound like the biggest asshole. For some reason, the entire class finds him funny. I think he's one of the worst human beings currently in existence. I just want the bell to ring. There's still another half hour left of class. Fuck this. I should take a nap. My dreams are so much more fun than school. Ah, my dream world. So vibrant, so exciting. I'm still in the classroom, but now all the students are ravenous and their eyes are bloodshot. And they're angry with the teacher. This fat ass is eating in front of them, and their hunger makes them moan. We should eat them. Matt, the practical one, always has a good idea. Yes. Damn it. His teasing cannot go unpunished. Leave it to Peggy to bring her odd sense of morals into this little plan. Even so, most agree. So Matt and Peggy lead the charge of 8 students to feast on the now terrified teacher. He clings to his food, thinking that is what they're after. But when Rebecca bites into his chest, he gets the idea. He begins to call out for help, but it's too late. I wake to screaming. I am still at my desk, but for some reason, about the third of our 25-minute class is behind. Third of our 25 student class is behind the teacher's desk. Where's the teacher? Matt turns away from the front of the room and spits out a chunk of flesh. I can hear moaning from the center of the mob. The screaming was coming from the rest of the class, now silent. What the hell's going on? I ask as I stand. Was I not dreaming? Was all that real? And why is the mob seeming angry with me? Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. I wonder if that's a self-insert for Devin McCormick. If it is, I mean, kudos. This is actually a pretty neat one. Daydreams becoming real. Oh, sorry, was that supposed to stay in the thought bubble? Oops. Yeah. People tend to have dark daydreams. That's like whenever I'm at work and I've got these older people. They complain and complain about like their love lives and shit, and say some heinous bullshit sometimes, and it's just like, come on. If something like that actually happens, like, you're gonna be fucked. And I want to say they don't mean it, but fuck, I don't know. Crazy bastards. The day I got kidnapped. Hi, everyone. My name is Trey, and I'm here to tell you about the day I was kidnapped. It all started a summer day in July. I was walking home from a friend's house, and I got a text. It was from my friend, whose house I just left, and it read, "Hey man, who is that guy walking behind you?" I almost had a heart attack when I jerked around to see a tall, skinny man in a suit. Scariest part was the stalker had no face. Clothes are dry. Clothes are dry. He then disappeared when I screamed. I quickly ran to the forest, which was a shortcut to my house. I was almost out of the forest when I tripped on a log and cut my leg open. I got up, as painful as it was, ran even faster than I had before. That's when he appeared before me. I rammed into him with all my strength, but he dodged and I hit a tree. I fell into unconsciousness. I woke up in a pitch-black room. Spontaneously, the light turned on, revealing a large amount of skeletons, all of which were children's. The slender man was in front of me. Rummaging through a bag, he pulled out a small knife, and to my horror, cut himself a mouth. Then he opened it with his jaw muscles, if he had any, to reveal he really did create a mouth from this formerly bare face. Then somehow my soul was thrust out of my body, so I could watch him eat my body, while still feeling all the pain. He then took out a sewing kit, took a patch of flesh from my skull, and sewed it into his mouth, giving him the appearance of facelessness. Now, I am stuck in this alternate dimension, to forever stay here along with the souls of the other kidnapped children. Please, hear me out. Never walk alone. When the going gets tough, the tough lie around and play video games. 19 September 23, 2011, UTC. Trey the Ninja. When the going gets tough, the tough lay around and play video games. That's funny. Okay, no, it's kind of neat. That's kind of neat. Far be it from a Slenderman creepypasta, because there's so many that water it down, but conceptually it's like what happens afterwards is kind of a neat thing to think about. So, not the best one, but definitely a fun one. I'd say it's fun. The Day I Saw the Monster by ABK Dragon Griffin Cat. It is a hell of a name. God damn. I was never the kind of person to believe in monsters. Not even when I was a kid. Today it changed what was real to me in a way that even I can't comprehend. Let me start from the beginning of the story. I was walking from my friend's house, listening to my music as I went out. The moon was full, but covered by clouds, so only a few rays of moonlight shone through. As I was walking down the street, I had a strange feeling that I was being watched. But when I looked around me, there was nothing. About 5 minutes later, my music player's battery died. I started to hear a second set of footsteps that were not mine. But since I was walking on a street, I had little to no light for a block. I couldn't see who was there. I called out through the dark, "Who's there?" But there was no answer. I called out again, but there was no answer yet again. As I listened for anything resembling a voice in the distance or breathing, I heard the footsteps pick up pace. I started to panic about the thing causing those footsteps, but I really didn't want to know what was coming towards me or even for me. So I started to sprint towards the nearest light source I could see. The nearest light source was at my house, which was a block away. As I started to sprint to safety, the footsteps picked up as well. I was almost there, almost to safety, almost away from the thing that was chasing me. As I was almost to the entrance of my house, I started to see the light come to greet me. As I stood in the light, I saw what was chasing me the entire time. It was a tall man with razor-sharp hands in a trench coat. I couldn't see his face, only his red eyes, which peered through my soul and made me shiver. He never came into the light. He just stood in the dark, waiting, watching my movements like an animal stalking its prey. As I went inside, I took another look out my window. I didn't see him. I haven't seen him ever since that day, but I don't plan on walking home anytime soon again. So, that's my story. I just hope that others are more fortunate than I. So the next time you're outside in the middle of the night, just remember that you might not be alone. No, I like that one. I wonder if any of it's like partly paranoia, because when you're in the dark and things start going off and like you start basically hearing your own red flags in your head, it can be a little taxing. It very well can be. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting. I think the way that's written, there's a few grammatical things like grammar. I'll say this much: sometimes grammar does a hell of a lot to what can help and or hinder a creepypasta. So definitely be careful, and if you need to get recommendations for it, get some people to look at it, proofread it, even for a second, just like, oh wait, that doesn't make sense. Because sometimes when you're constantly looking at it and you're the one writing it or editing or something like that, you need a second set of eyes to like help you go, oh wait, that doesn't look right. That's weird. That needs to be changed. All right. The day of tremendous bloodletting. This is a narrative of a period between sunrise and sunset, where there were notably large amounts of bloodshed. A gentleman was having a leisurely daytime stroll when he began to exude enormous quantities of blood from every possible part of his anatomy. The hemorrhaging was so severe that it completely occupied the volume of the mechanical device for elevating people within the building. He hastily proceeded to the establishment where the merchandise was sold, and there was a sanguine bodily fluid on every surface within the building. The patrons of the establishment were losing their footing in the blood and were sliding and fumbling about, which filled them with disgust and loathing. He tried to have a leisurely swim in the oceanic body of water, and the sharks that inhabited the waters were driven into a carnivorous frenzy from his excessive hemorrhaging, and thus proceeded to wound everyone with their sharp incisors. He was then pursued by all reanimate blood-sucking corpses in existence. All, at one point in time, the sanguine bodily fluid menaced a child and a domestic canine. At the end of the period of daylight, everyone deemed it necessary to deliver him to celestial spaces beyond Earth, in a vessel designed specifically to travel through intergalactic space. The most alarming aspect of the narrative is that the identity of this gentleman happened to be you, the reader. Or he happened to be a woman, if he happened to belong to the female sex, and failed to recollect that these events transpired. Oh, okay, I will say it was good until that last stanza or whatever. It just, that breaks the momentum down so much. Like, I would have expected, like, there's now a celestial body that is made up of that man having hemorrhaging blood and stuff, and that he's still alive, and because he's in his own bodily fluid, it's keeping him alive internally, or something like that. I think that would have been interesting. But it's really confusing because he's hemorrhaging like this, and he's just walking around like it's all good, it's just happening, he has no control over it. Everyone else is just dealing with it, and it's a pain in the ass. He wants to take a swim in the big open blue. Oh no, shirkies. And it's just like, you get to the end, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, you're that person. Yep. That's a thing now, I guess. Alright. One more, and then I think I'll take a break. daydream, hallucination. A few years ago, I didn't have a phone with me. The phone was an LG cookie. I didn't go to school then, and I was kneeling on the bed. Then suddenly my hand vibrated. I looked down and saw my phone. There was a message from my friend, asking me why I didn't go to school. I told him that my parents were going to see him, and told him that my parents are going to see him, and I moved to the edge of the bed from the middle. And the next instant, when I checked to see if he had replied or not, the phone was gone. Yet, I was still in the same place, the edge of the bed. I looked around, thinking I might have dropped it, but then I remembered that my parents took my phone. I didn't fall asleep after all. It felt so real. The size of the phone, the vibrations. I still wonder what it was. Because when my parents came back, they said that he said he was ready. I still don't know what happened. I'm sure I wasn't asleep. Maybe I was in a trance. But I don't know about that. I don't know what to say about this one. I don't know. Alright, I think I'm gonna take about 10 or 20 minutes. Take a break. So feel free to go to the bathroom, take a stretch, get something to drink, something to snack on, or whatever it be. This is the intermission. Alright, and we're back. I need to take the thing off of the intermission thing. It doesn't need voice. I don't know why it's on there. I need to overhaul some shit. Anyway, we shall continue. Dead boy. Strangely enough, I was basically raised in a funeral home. My parents were workaholics, and my grandmother worked in a nearby funeral home where she watched me. The first dead body I ever saw was when I was 4 years old, and from then on, up until I was about 12, I had seen hundreds of bodies. But for some reason, one particular kid sticks in mind. I will never forget his face, and I remembered his entire name, even being so young. He was a 19-year-old boy from my hometown that died in a car accident. Years later, I mentioned to my grandmother that I remembered him, and she couldn't believe it. We had no relation, we had never met him before, but for some reason, I still sometimes think of him. I see his pictures in my head. I think about how he died. I have weird random memories of him that never happened. I don't know why. When I was 7 years old, I lived in a condo with my parents and babysitter. We shared a bedroom. I had bunk beds. I was on the top bunk when I had heard tapping on my window. I climbed down the ladder thinking it was my next door neighbor whom was my best friend. I peeked over the window sill and saw nothing. I looked around my yard a bit and when I saw my eyes belonging to a full-grown man in between the bushes, lit up by our floodlight. I ran out of my room and told my parents. My mom came in and said it was just a bad dream. She lied with me until I fell asleep, but I know for a fact I wasn't sleeping. I really saw him. Okay, I don't know about that one. You prime it with this, with these two statements, and then you say this story that doesn't say anything about being that kid necessarily. It said full-grown man. I guess that's a full-grown man, but I don't know. It feels like it went on a tangent instead. It just doesn't feel like it came around to make the point. No, it's sad. Okay. Dead dog. One night in our small farm, I was awoken by our dog barking loudly. I got up to investigate and stopped by my son's bedroom to check on him. He wasn't in his bed. "Jason," I whispered loudly, "where are you?" "Under here, Daddy," my son replied, as he came out from where he'd been hiding under his bed. "Was it just you?" he asked. "Was it just me where?" I asked. "Was it just me where?" I asked. "Walking outside my window." A chill crept over me as I lied and said, "Yes," to keep him from getting scared. "But why don't you come and sleep with Mommy and Daddy tonight anyway?" So I picked him up out of bed and carried him to our room. I laid awake in bed the rest of the night, baseball bat beside me at the ready. While my wife and son slept peacefully, the barking stopped soon after. I got up at sunrise to go check around outside and was incredibly afraid by what I discovered. Our family dog was lying dead and its throat cut open, and there were signs of attempted entry through the back window with scratch marks. Also, out towards the back of the property there had been a small grave dug under a large tree. But it was confusing. The dog hadn't been buried in it. I got rid of the dog body myself and had to lie to my family and say he must have ran away chasing the cat he was barking at. It was the best I could come up with. When I asked my son what he had seen me doing in the middle of the night, he simply replied with, "The farm work." What do you think I was doing Why do you think I was doing farm work, son? "Well, why else would you have been carrying a large cane knife and shovel, Dad?" My heart sank in my chest, but he wasn't finished yet. "And why did you only call me by my name? And why did you only call my name out the second time you came to look in my room?" As I realized, the grave hadn't been for the dog. Ooh, ooh, that one. Okay, that one is actually really good. I might make that one of the ones I do like make a solid episode on, because that's a good one. Like, holy shit. Just imagine. Thank goodness the kid had the ingenuity. Fuck. That one was deep. That's a deep cut too. Like, I thought like dead dogs was gonna be like favorite family pet, super close. No, it was the scapegoat for the son that could have died that night. Holy shit. That is insane. Whew. Nope. Alright. Dead gamer. Ah, I said, waking up to fresh morning light. I went downstairs, got some waffles, and heated them up. I ate them with some syrup. I ate them quickly, then hopped on my computer and logged on, then opened up Google Chrome. The blank staring page had some weird ads about this game. Oh, I thought it was an update, so I skipped it and went to the IGN website. They dedicated their website to a stupid free FPS. I called my friend over to play with me. I downloaded the game. It went on my game disc pretty fast, so I waited for my friend. He turned up pretty late. He said that this creepy guy tried to grab him. We both shrugged and started up the game. I told my friend to play a round or two while I used the restroom and went to get a snack. He agreed and played a bit. I was eating a bowl of cereal when I heard a scream. I assumed he got angry, because he rages a lot. So I continued to eat, but then he screamed more. The screams sounded like they weren't rage. They screamed in horror and fright. He came running down the hall, yelling, screaming, flailing everywhere. I went and grabbed him by the shoulders. His mouth was open, even though he stopped screaming. I saw his eyes were completely white, blood streaming out of his nostrils, covering his mouth. He also had black gunk oozing from his ears. He made a gagging sound and passed out. I went into my room to see what happened. I didn't see anything wrong, so I played a bit. Dude, hospital. It was completely safe. I didn't die, I just kept killing everyone. I was about to win. The game wrapping up. Yes, yes, they said excitedly. I was suddenly gripped around my mouth. I screamed, but it was completely muffled. I was pulled out of my chair, being held by the neck to watch the screen. I stared wide-eyed as my non-moving character, enemy, got a headshot on me, and then I started gagging. At 12:36, Tony and his friend were found dead in Tony's house. Should have called the fucking paramedics. Like, my god, that's fucked up. Do do do. Alright. The Dead Sea. Somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean, there's an iceberg. What makes it different from the others, though, are the words carved into the side. The message is encoded in a language long lost by civilization. If you manage to decode it, however, a roar from below the water's surface will sound. A huge whirlpool will begin to form, and you will be dragged helplessly into the murky depths. You will then awaken in a new world, but this one is full of unspeakable horrors with no living thing would want to witness. The sea is now stained with blood, forever keeping the unfortunate souls hostage. A mixture of fear and shock will eventually hit you. Look out into the scenery, and ghostly remains of ships can be seen from afar. Not to mention the dead carcasses of lost seamen floating in the waters. But the most frightening sights await beneath the surface. Down below, monstrous creatures await. Just remember, it's no use sailing away. Okay. A marine pasta. Dead man's chest, anyone? So, okay, that's kind of neat. This is basically another ultimate, falling into a new world type thing. Into a new world, doing unspeakable things. And here's one of the things I do like any ambiguity in a story that says, well, this could technically be real, or parts of it could be true. There could be an iceberg that has words on it that just never melted proper, or never got deformed or something. Technically, there's potential for that. Now, there's no way to know of a new world and that shit happening, but the possibility, like if you ever saw it and then flashed back to like hearing or reading this, yeah, I could see it. I guess the picture was added by iPogs, so I guess kudos to that person using Pogs before it was a Twitch meme. Poggers. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. The Dead Skull. The following pasta was written by John Wojcik, the author behind Today of All Tibblad. I bet you'll think that all of these stories are pretend, but guess what? There is one that is for real. How do I know? Well, I know because I am looking at you, and I know you all of your secrets. I even know your favorite animal. One day I looked at you in the bathroom. Maybe I will break something and tell everybody it was you. There is nothing you can do to stop me, but guess what? I am a dead skull. Oh my god. These purposely crappy pastas. God damn. You know, given the right artist, they could probably make that really creepy. Added by LOL Skeletons. Who knows who did that? I don't know if that's John Wojcik or whatever. But my god, just hilariously awful. All caps, run-on sentences like a motherfucker. Super short, and the payoff is just cheese all over it. And then a skeleton popped out. Just, my god. No, Dead Space creepypasta. Remember, I've got these sorted by how many pages they have, and then after that it goes alphabetical. So, keep that in mind. Like, we're on just the D's. Now, I will say, let's see, let me just make sure I'm clicked on it proper. Alright, so, right, okay, so right, alright, so right here is when these all the single pages stop, and then it's going to be these other ones. In theory, they tend to get a little more quality. Like, I've done a handful of these 2-page ones because they're easy reads, quick. But yeah, the sections are going to get shorter. Yeah. So let's see, when you get to 2 pages, maybe there's just way more 2-page. Yeah, there are actually. Yeah, okay, so yeah, there's a ton of 2-page ones as opposed to the single page. Well, it gets a little over halfway between the two of them. I would say there are more 2-page ones. In any case, I think it's going to be a lot of fun getting to that point. Ooh, we're going to be sitting on the Holder series for a hot minute. Oh, shit. That'll be interesting. We can keep something conducive. Alright. Oh, it's a cheese lord, I guess. Dead Space. So, this all started on November 25th, 2011. I was at GameStop browsing their selection of used games. I didn't have much money and wanted to spend it on Sonic Generations, but when I got there, they were sold out completely. I decided to take a look at Xbox games quickly before leaving. While searching, I came across a strange game case. It was Dead Space, but the case looked off. Off as in, I looked at its coloring and was done by a 4-year-old. It looked like its coloring was done by a 4-year-old. Since I really enjoyed the second game, I decided, what the hell. When I got home, I instantly put my disc in my Xbox. The start screen was totally normal, creepy noises, etc. I started a new game. The first cutscene was of you in the ship. You listen to the message from Nicole and Kendra says stuff, shit happens. It looked like Dead Space. When I finally got on the ship, I figured that the infestation hasn't happened yet, because when we crashed, there were people, normal people everywhere, and they asked us if we were all right after the crash. The ship crashes into the ship. We said we were okay when they told us that the ship was horrendously fucked up. Yes, finally some zombie action, I thought. The people took us through the ship, called the Ishimura, until I got to the antenna thingy. Once again, people. But now I'm like, what the fuck? Where's all the zombies and blood and stuff? I went and repaired the antenna, and they said stuff about the marker. And I was like, finally. Then they took us to the cargo bay, and on the way we passed all kinds of things. We passed a nursery, a hospital, a pet store, and there were even kittens in the glass things that showed off the animals. When we got there, I almost couldn't take it. The cargo bay wasn't filled with blood or bodies. Everything looked like it was probably should have. I was like, what the fuck? Where's my fucking necromorphs? They showed us the marker, and we returned to our ship. Then the credits rolled. I finished the game with a total time of 45 minutes. My jaw dropped. The horror was you didn't get to actually play the game the way it was intended. The game, the Dead Space, the original plot never happens. That's not really CreepyPasta. That's just bullshit. Oh man. What do you mean the credits rolled? Motherfucker. Yeah, I'm not sure that's really a creep. I don't think I could see myself doing this one as its own. Oh man. I guess Cheese Lord? I don't know. It's just funny because of the nature of it. Well, your Zambos and necromorphs. Deadbob.abi. One day at my job at Nick, I found a lost tape called deadbob.abi. I took it home and put it in my VCR. It had the same intro then. It cut to SpongeBob saying why, just why. Then it cut to SpongeBob all cut up and then static came and the ending theme. Was this some kind of joke? Then I took a hammer and smashed it. And if you ever see this at your job, destroy it. The pic at the ending. It's actually worse seeing it on the small screen. Alright, so yeah, there's another of your hyper-realistic eyes. So that's something that is an issue to me. People use the term hyper-realistic like in the worst way, because when they're looking at it, they're not really realistic. They're just really well detailed to look realistic, and but they're not. Like the hyper realistic is like it still looks like a cartoon, but if it was real. But it's been overused, and I'm glad they didn't use that here. But it's just like, come on, man. Yeah, it's just extra detailed, and then of course getting rid of the mouth makes everything look wrong. Like the way you draw a thing, the way you project. Panina's cupcake, short. I wish there was more, like to give more context, but I guess you don't want to go too far, or else you go to the Squidward suicide one. So I get it. The Deadly Lullaby. Hush, frightened friend, I feel your pain, but I really need your brain. Slash your eyes so you lose your sight. The next thing you see is a bright, white light. Cut off your limbs, one by one. Please understand, this is too much fun. Gutting you like a fresh caught trout. I love hearing you screaming about. Next is my favorite. I see your heart. Gonna gobble it up and tear your remains apart. Hush, dear friend, you truly are. I really enjoy our little spar. Dump the rest of you in a garbage can. Really can't wait to do this again. Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, at least it rhymed, like in a conducive way. Like it's not free form, so I don't know. Ooh, this one's actually long. Whoa, user dead oh. I don't know if I want to click on that. I don't know if I want to open that shit. Alright. I was browsing B on 4chan. Wait, dead found. I was browsing /B/ on 4chan the other day when someone posted a link. Their name was anonymous, which was usual for 4chan. There were a bunch of comments on it, so I decided to click on the link. The link was a file to Moggle Mega Upload called Dead Found. I downloaded it, but Norton rejected it due to it being infected with some sort of virus. When I went back to 4chan, all posts said Dead Found. For some reason, my computer froze soon after. I turned the computer back on, but it didn't start up properly. It showed on my background with no files, start menu, or anything of the sort. Explorer.exe didn't appear to be running. Man, I had that issue. Motherfucker. Almost automatically a file opened. It was called Dead Found. It was an N64 emulator. I tried opening my ROM files, but all that could be found in the file browser was a corrupted file with a URL for the title. I went through the back way to open Google Chrome and typed the URL in. My computer's screen blacked out for 10 seconds and it froze. For a split second, it looked like a word or two flashed on the screen, but I didn't have enough time to read it as it was too fast. After the computer froze and the screen came back, the page opened. However, something was wrong with my browser. There were no words anywhere on the window, just the layout. When the YouTube finally fully loaded, I was on a channel called Dead Found. There was also no words on the channel, nor was there a layout or avatar. The weird thing was that it said the account was created on October 31st, 2011. This startled me as that's today. I began investigating by clicking on the first video, Don't Wait. And 1 minute and 8 seconds long. The first 42 seconds of the video were comprised of black video with echoing noises in the background. The words Don't Wait appeared on the screen before it went black again. Exactly 10 seconds afterward, it showed a trail in the woods with a ton of distorted video. The sound sounded like my phone left off the hook. The words Find Me appeared after that. What really frightened me is that the trail in the video was the same trail I usually ride my bike down. I rode my bike down there and looked around for anything suspicious. After around 10 minutes, I stepped on a thin black disc. Actually, not far from that black disc was a whole box of discs. I took them home and put them in my computer one by one. They were just dump files called New File Saved for One. One of the discs was written in number 17. I put it into the computer. Not surprisingly, there was a file on it named 17. I opened it and turned it out to be an HTML file that linked to the Dead Found YouTube's channel. Afterward, my computer shut itself down. When I tried to start back up, all I could get it to do was show the word Dead Found on the screen. It doesn't do anything else. I wish I never clicked on that link. I sent my computer to get fixed, but they said there was nothing they could do to fix it. They would want me to get a new computer because the viruses on my computer was fatal. Now, I'm using my dad's computer. Everything is fine. For now. Okay. In theory, it should be fine. Let's see if it actually brings something up. October 29th, 2011. Alright, so it's got 3 uploads. Do we want to look at it? You know what? Let's look at it. Let's see what this has to endure for us. Let me make sure you guys can hear it. Alright. $2.3K views. Yeah, other people came here through Dead Found. Don't wait. Let's click. Find me. This seems like the beginning of what was supposed to end up being a ARG. At least that's what I imagine. Kids Tech warning. Kids Tech YouTube. What? That was scary. It looks like a ducky. Oh, really? A place near me called the... Ooh. Alright, at Funeral Pyre. Might want to avoid. So, let's go back. Introduction.avi. So I decided I'm going to post my CreepyPasta here on this channel. Okay, so this is like the admission. You know what? Fuck it. So I frequently be posting CreepyPasta on this channel. Would have. This was 11 years ago. Enjoy. Okay. New channel. New channel. AVI Truth in description. And I imagine that's just it. Decided it was going to be a different channel. I guess that's fair, because now that way you're not stuck with just dead truth. Or dead found. There's no sounds. I don't see anything. Oh. And has this person been uploading? Not really. Okay. Well, that was a rabbit hole that we didn't get to go too far down. You know what that's interesting? That probably could have turned out to be a really good ARG. Unfortunately, though, it kind of fell apart. But I could see myself doing this creepypasta for what it's worth. Oh, you know what I could do? I could actually put the videos in. As long as I format it properly. Oh man. Alright, let's get out of that. Dead Space, Dead Bob, Dead Lullaby. I think it's in between these two. Oh yeah, okay, so no, I think I can kind of like that. I should do that. I mean, there's a bunch of these I could see myself doing regardless. I mean, it's technically I'm doing them now. But, thanks to my lovely whiff bin, I've been kind of getting into Nexpo. If you may have seen that on the video it tried to play after that. But, I've been getting interested into it, so if I ever get further into, like, doing creepypasta, I might keep inserting more, if you will. Alright. Dear hearts and gentle people, you live in the early 1930s. You step outside to fetch the paper. Your 10-year-old son, James, plays ball with his best friend, Robert, in the front yard. You get the paper, waving to your loyal neighbor and good friend, Ted, the father of Robert. You step inside with your well-kept house and brush your adorable 8-year-old daughter, Mary. You step into the kitchen, where your lovely wife, Linda, is making breakfast for your beautiful family. You read the paper, looking at all the new gadgets and devices out. You're under pressure between the happenings in Germany, your job, and you secretly drink whiskey every night to make the frustration go away. But you know it won't. The only thing that keeps you from shooting yourself are those beautiful people. But you know that they are just tools of the new world. You don't know who to trust, yourself or those dear hearts and gentle people. That's kind of an interesting thing. I could imagine like someone using this back then as like a anti-propaganda thing. If they had tried, because like you've got a dynamic there that not everyone's gonna fully grasp, and it's just funny. It's just funny because you know that they probably don't understand. Oh man. know there's a lot of like denialism of like, no, look at my image, it's great. So, oh boy. All right, dear you. The summer is slowly fading, but you are still there standing, all creepy and stocky. You okay? You're already thinking it, aren't you?
What?
Are you already thinking it?
No, I don't wanna. I don't like hiccups.
Do you need a reminder?
No. I fucking hate the saying. You can tell them if you want, but every time I do it, it fucking gets stuck in my chest and it hurts. You hear that, everybody? Dren Hatamata laughs at my pain.
No, I'm just trying to help stop your hiccups.
Hiccups suck.
So apparently, there's this thing about hiccups where apparently it was an evolutionary thing for fish, but since we're not fish, it's not something that we have, but it's like a memory thing in our genetics. So you just have to remind yourself that you're not a fish, and apparently it works. And it has worked a couple times. It's worked on several occasions, but for my husband, it has gotten caught in her chest and it hurts, so I tend not to say it too much. But it happens apparently. Try it out for yourself. Anyway, dear you, the summer is slowly fading, but you are still there, standing all creepy and stocky. I want to share this feeling of happiness and the gentle glow of this evening sun. We have spent many times together. I will cherish them with all my heart. I wanted everyone to bond. Mion, Shion, Rika, Sadako, and you. But I know you won't live through the night, because you are already slowly being consumed, and you are thinking that we are trying to inject you with some crazy syringe, or sooner or later your paranoid phobia will kill you. I will still be there, but not there to comfort you, but there to laugh at your silly pain. It's the truth and you know it. I expect that after a week or so. That you will go insane within your own wonderland and grab that bat in the old locker in our school. You will then come to our house while we sleep peacefully and smash us to pieces. You will try to call the police, but instead your own stupidity will claw your own throat out. There you'll be lying down dead with the marks on your throat. It is probably too late since you're already insane and I might kill you right now, or I might be behind you. Your phobia is getting stronger with each sentence, then to each letter. I know tonight won't be different. Right, Dren? Okay, so this one I think is something you would send to someone, and if you knew their name, that's how it would work, I think. So I think the only reason this one doesn't work as well is because it's insert name here. All right. Okay. Let's see if it brings up something. There it goes. Okay. Oh, did it just bring me to the thing? I thought it was going to bring me to the song. Oh. It just brought me to the wiki. It didn't bring me to the actual song that I thought we were going to hear. Fuck. Alright, it was added by a Wikibot. I guess we'll say Wikiabot. I don't know. I don't know if it's actually a bot or not. Alright. I'll do a few more. And, yeah, I'll do a few more, and then, I think I'll play a game. Maybe I'll just start Minecraft or something. Just like a palate cleanser. You know, for the last hour. No, it can make things a little easier. No, we don't need that right now. Where's my fucking... There it is. Ooh. Why does it go away right there? I guess it just ports it to the top. Oh no. This one's grammatically correct by the way they're talking. Shit. I think I remember this one. Fuck. Okay, whatever. I'll figure it out. Alright. Death and the Emperor. Gather round, Grandma Millie, children. Grandma Millie, children. Grandma Millie got an old tale. Gather around, Grandma Millie. Grandma Millie, children. Grandma Millie got an old tale to tell you. One from long ago. Yes, Billy, even for Grandma Millie was born. Even before Grandma Millie was born. This was quite long ago indeed. There once was much chaos in the land. It rained at all times, and there were no signs of letting up anytime soon. Anywho, the humans lived in fear of the gods, who flooded the valleys and canyons in their downpour, forcing us to live in caves and mountains. One day, though, powerful emperor by the name of Gilgamesh decided to go against gods. He built a mighty chariot and stretched wings and flew him up the clouds to face the gods in armed combat. When he arrived, he challenged the big and mighty beings to a duel of power. The gods scoffed at him, being so small in comparison in their giant forms, and spoke in ancient tongues. Who are you to face us, the gods? We created you. We all round you. And all round you. To which Emperor responded. Who are you, challenge man? Who has domain over every creature? Who lives and endures always? Now, no matter how bad floods get, who fashions things that are not made by even the gods? And the gods did quiver at this, seeing what danger they created, and the Emperor took one last glare at them before he smote each and every one of them with his magic staff, watching them cower in fear. When he was done, he looked at his subjects and said, "The gods are defeated. There no more rain, and there was much excitement round every corner. But the rain was made for a reason. A wildfire sprung round every corner, and many were thirsty for the liquid that once fell from the arid land. Save us, Emperor Gilgamesh!" They shouted with all their might. The Emperor heard their pleas and went to the last living god and asked him for forgiveness. Death himself. And so there he was, asking for the power to control the weather, and Death struck up a deal. I will teach you, if I am granting just one wish. The Emperor was humbled. Anything. Anything. My servants will be allowed to be present everywhere, at any time. They will reside under every rock, animal, tree, and man, and they will be invincible, especially to man. The Emperor conceded, and it was done. To this day, children, servants of death reside beside us, waiting for the moment to seize us, waiting for us to die. I don't know the story of Gilgamesh. I don't know it. So I have no idea if that's like basically what it is. It'd be something that I'd have to look up. So from what I know, from what, or at least from what this is saying, basically he was, he fought God, killed most of them except for death. And maybe that would have been the thing. If he killed death, we wouldn't be worried about being hungry or anything. Of course, it could have been living without being able to die and suffering through all the pain of not being able to sustain itself. I don't know. It'd be interesting. But I tried my best at this. I think honestly it's okay, but man, I did not like having to read it with the an accent, a grammatically correct accent. Ooh, that was rough. Death cult. Occasionally, convinced murderers come forward with the chilling tale. They claim that exactly 1 week after they commit a murder, they awaken in the middle of the night, and if they are alone, they are approached by an old man in a dark black cloak. He claims to be a member of an old age cult that feasts on spiritual energies released from. Is it raining? I think it is. Shit, I might want to wrap this up. Go ahead and check the weather. Make sure everything's good. Is it really raining again? It seems so clear. Anyway, he claims to be a member of an age-old cult that feasts upon spiritual energies released from violence and death. He invariably extends an invitation to the cult, and should murder accept, he is christened a member of the organization and given a victim to kill. Murderers who are accepted but are imprisoned at the time are quietly smuggled through the system by corrupt officials that are members of the sinister plot as well. Any members who fail to cover up their tracks are arrested for the murders they commit are found brutally murdered in their cells. Over 6,000 murders go unsolved every year in the US alone. That's pretty interesting. Okay, so right now we're going through a hot spell. 10:56 at night. Alright, it'll be gone fairly quick, but we'll see. What's going on? Yeah, the weather's passing through right now. And it's gonna be heavy for a hot minute. Now that's what we're at. We're at the beginning of it. Extend 11:20, 11:35. So about another half hour of this. Okay. Whoa. We got some swirls in Michigan. Damn. Yeah, there's some swirls centered around Michigan right now. Holy shit. There's a tropical tornado going towards Mexico City. Tropical depression still going through, looks like Cuba right now. There's a bunch of weather just south of the Latin Americas, east of Cuba, Colombia, and Ecuador. Panama's getting hit right now as well. There's another tropical depression being followed up going towards Haiti. Man. Alright. If I'm going to do a palate cleanser, let me go ahead and start it now. Yeah, let me just go ahead and get it pulled up. So, we've been having a lot of weather lately, and it's been kinda hectic. We know we're in a fairly safe spot, but anything can happen. I don't think I've seen it where it's been spiraling up in the Michigans like that before, though. Michigan and Canada. The air's cold. The air got colder. That's a whole front passing through right now. Yeah. We'll be fine, but it's gonna be rough for a hot minute. Anyway, how are you guys doing right now? If you're in a hefty weather area, I hope you're doing alright. Thunderstorms maybe at 6. Alright. Yeah, looks like we're gonna be dealing with stuff all week. Actually, no. No. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream in case the weather gets worse. I've got to set my priorities. Alright, you guys have a wonderful night, wonderful day, whenever you're watching this. Stay safe. I guess I should do my spiel. So feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you want to be my buddy. You can feel free to check out my links below. You can find my Discord, Patreon, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, all that kind of stuff. Feel free to check those out. And always remember, you have potential. Bye. Stay safe.